What I'm going to show you isn't a tutorial for one specific game, but a universal method for recording the depth pass. I'll be providing all the necessary scripts for this workflow, but since the initial setup for every game is different, the method itself will only work if your game meets the 3 key requirements. Your game needs to be compatible with Reshade. Second, you need a way to run it at a custom widescreen resolution. And finally, you need to be able to disable any kind of anti-aliasing. So just to be clear, as long as you can achieve those 3 things, this method will work. So I want to go over the logic and explain the principle first, since the workflow is really simple in its nature. So if you already kind of know what you're doing, this explanation will probably be enough for you. If your target resolution is 1920 by 1080, this workflow requires running the game at 3840 by 1080, exactly double the normal width. We do this to create a wide enough canvas to place 2 full resolution videos side by side, letting us capture both the world and depth passes simultaneously, without sacrificing any quality. Next, Reshade creates a side-by-side view of the world and depth passes. Recording this view creates a single video file which guarantees both passes will be perfectly synchronized. Finally, the batch script splits the recording into 2 full resolution videos. From there, your passes are ready to be brought into your editing software. Alright, I'm gonna do this demonstration kind of freestyle, otherwise it's just gonna take way too long. For this example, I'll be using Black Ops 3 Redacted, but if you follow the steps with your game, you should be fine. The goal is to record 1920 by 1080 passes, so we use a third-party tool to scale our game accordingly. We need a software that supports application capture, so stuff like OBS, DxStory and Fraps would work, but stuff like Shadowplay would not work because instead it's display capture only. For this you're gonna need some files, so you're gonna head to the desk and open the 3 links. First you need Reshade. I recommend you use the add-on if you can. Then you download the third-party app to scale our game here. And then you're gonna download the workflow files as well. And also, you can do this right away, install the FFmpeg pack to your system directory. You can just do this by running this command in your command prompt here. And it's just gonna install. Once you downloaded all the files, you can open up the Reshade Setup. And we're just gonna install it as usual. Just make sure you install the standard effects. You don't need to do anything else here. And for this I'm just gonna skip. Next you're gonna extract the archive. In the archive you are going to copy this Reshade shaders folder. Then you're gonna head over to your root directory of your game. You should find the Reshade shaders folder in here, and you're just gonna paste it right here, and it's gonna automatically install the necessary files. For this VideoSplitter, you can save it anywhere you want. I'm just gonna drag it on the desktop. You can leave it in here, it doesn't matter. And then you can start the game. When the game is started, the first thing we want to do is set the correct resolution. For that, we make sure the game is running in windowed mode, the resolution does not matter. Then we are going to open the program that allows you to change the resolution to anything you want, basically. You're gonna select the application window, and then you're gonna type the custom resolution, so in our case 3840. You're gonna hit make borderless. Everything is just gonna be stretched, etc., but we will worry about that later. Now we make sure we can record, so I'm going to open up the recording software OBS here, and I'm going to use this to illustrate as well, since this provides a preview window. You can see across my 2 screens, but you should also see this at the end, so I'm going to just delete this here. To get this widescreen you have to go to the settings, go to video. Yes, it was in video. Going to set the resolution of double the width, like the same thing we put in here, and you can put anything you want here. I'm gonna head over to the outputs tab, and you can look at my settings here. Just some lossless AI settings I generated, and then I'm going to set a new recording path here on my desktop. do like some recordings. Okay. And make sure you have like a keybind here. And then we need to use game capture for this. If you have two monitors, you can do something like display capture or window capture, but if you only have one monitor, you will have to use this option. You're gonna choose capture specific window and choose the actual window, and here we go, it's gonna show up. And that's basically it. Now we can record. Okay, now we open up Reshade. You want to select these two effects right here, and you want the start one to be the first and the end one to be the last. This basically works like this. You can already see it's just gonna split this view here, and basically anything you put in the middle here, it's gonna get displayed on the right side. This is basically how we generate the passes. So I set it up like this, so you can technically put anything you want here. So if you want like a normal pass, you can just switch this to normal and record like your normal pass. But for this tutorial, I'm gonna stick with the depth. You want to show live preview so you can tweak this better. I like to tweak this. I'm gonna switch the view right here so you can see. To have like a nice range of motion here, I'm gonna lower this a little. And then I like to invert the depth. So near is white and black is far. That's just like what most softwares kind of default to, so I don't have to change that later. If for whatever reason your game's 3D is stretched, you can toggle this. It will compensate for that. You can like choose from these settings from whatever aspect ratio your game is actually locked to. But for BO3 it actually supports it and it works. So I'm gonna head over to a demo so we can record. Alright, now that we are in a demo, you can see the depth works. As I already mentioned, make sure you disable any anti-aliasing, otherwise your depth is just gonna freak out and doesn't know what to do. So basically now we're ready to record. I'm just gonna play like this random clip here and hide the HUD and hit my hotkey F12, and I'm just gonna record like 5 seconds here. Okay, that's it. If you look at that recording, it's gonna look exactly as expected, just the two passes side by side. But benefit of that is they are perfectly synced up. How do you like take these apart? Therefore, you're gonna use the VideoSplitter. There's two modes to this. You can use the script by either dragging it on like this, and it's basically going to convert it into the two separate passes. I'm gonna cancel it early now, but it's just gonna generate a folder in the directory of the video file and have the videos be generated. And you can already use this. What I recommend you set up is a watcher folder. So it's gonna, if you edit the script, there's like a bunch of settings here you can tweak. Let's say, for example, this is the recordings folder that you usually record to. So you can set this folder up like this. It's basically just going to convert everything that is inside of the folder, so it just makes things a lot more quicker for your workflow. I'm going to also put this to true because I don't need the audio. You can change these however you want it. And to execute the script, you're just gonna double click, and then it's just gonna execute. I'm just gonna wait this time. Alright, now it is done, and it's gonna basically scan like every 60 seconds. You can also tweak this in the script. But if you go inside of the folder now, you're gonna have two folders. One is going to be the passes, and this one is going to be the one you can technically delete. You don't need this one anymore, so you can just delete this. Then you can just put these into your editing software, which I'm going to do right now. So now, I mean, you know how this works. You can just use the blur and shit. That just works. I don't know how to exactly prove that this lines up, but I think, you know, I mean, that's basically it. That's how I do anything nowadays. It's just way too beneficial, in my opinion, to have the depth. And yeah, if you have any feedback or bugs, like, I'm a newcomer vibe coder, I have no idea how this works basically, but I try and help you. You can also I don't know how the GitHub works. You can like commit shit there if you want. I don't know. Maybe that's how that works, or recommend changes and stuff. But yeah, that's like my personal workflow. You can basically do this on any game. I've been doing this on the newer cards as well. So yeah, thanks for watching.